I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I have been going through. It's difficult for me to talk about, so I'm going to try my best not to wiggle and fidget and stutter, but bear with me. Um, I've gone back and forth between, I don't want to say too much, it's nobody's business, and maybe I should put it out there and say what it is, and maybe people will understand. Um, I've thought about when I'd actually discuss it, and I assumed it would be when I'm in the testimony stages and I can say, this is what happened to me, this is how I got over it. But I understand that that's not as helpful as it can be to people who are also going through their own issues or struggles, and it doesn't feel good to feel like you're alone in that. Um, Somebody that I have looked up to is Jennifer Beasley. We went to school together, and she is a cancer survivor. So on social media, she has been completely transparent about the whole process, good and bad. And at the time, I looked at it like, this is too much. Like, I don't want to see her like this. This is depressing. But now, being on the other side of that, I understand that it's not about me. And it takes so much strength and courage to live your life without a filter over it. Because we all hide things, we try to make our life as perfect as possible. And even myself, I try to conceal what's going on as much as I can. So, JB, I salute you. I'm inspired by you. With that, I have been diagnosed with MS. For people who don't know what that is or have heard the abbreviation but don't know what it stands for, it's multiple sclerosis. It's a complicated condition to explain. Some people have family members, or maybe they even have heard of MS, but the best way as it was explained to me is, imagine your cell phone charger or even your laptop charger or headphones. It has that protective lining over the wires, and when that lining breaks, your charger doesn't work as well. So every single person has a protective lining over their veins. I'm sorry, over their nerves. And that's called myelin. And when the myelin is broken, that's when you have symptoms of MS. So it differs for every single person because it depends on where the myelin is broken and how much of the myelin is broken. Some people have severe pain. Some people are even wheelchair bound. But for me, I know people notice that I walk differently, and it's because it feels like one of my legs has weights on them, or my muscles are made of stone. So it looks painful, but it's not. It's just that my mobility is different. Um, it affects my vision and my strength. Um, my balance is affected most. And I wouldn't say I'm suffering from depression, but it's definitely a depressing condition to have. And there's times where I blame God, because it's like, why is this happening to me? What is this for? Um, People who know me know that my mom passed not too long ago. So with that and my own issues, it's like I'm being kicked when I'm down. And I know the type of person I was prior to all this. I was diagnosed in 2005, so my junior year in high school. So junior year, senior year, I was the most active of my life. In volleyball, cheerleading, dance, I did everything. I was in the best shape of my life. And it wasn't until 2012 that I started to show symptoms. That was 2 years after I moved to New York City. You walk everywhere in New York. You walk to the subway, you walk up and down the subway, you walk to work, you walk to the store, you walk back home. And when I'd walk, I'd get dizzy and I'd have double vision and I'd be confused sometimes. And so I didn't know what it was at the time. I did not think MS. I forgot MS was even said to me, because even in 2005, I was diagnosed, and then shortly after, everything was back to normal. So, you know, why would I think of that? I have the relapsing form of MS. So from 2005 to 2012, I was in remission. So there's different stages of MS. There's 3 different stages, and each one's a little worse than the other. But, um, you know, even meeting people who have MS, again, everyone's different. So something that might work for them might work for me, or it might not. Um, so I'm constantly learning what works for me, trying to figure out what works for me. And it's a process. I'm not dying. It's a process to get stronger. It takes a lot of prayer. Um, but I have a different outlook about it now. I'm in a good place. I have a good support system around me on the West Coast. My family's here. My friends are here. So my boyfriend has told me I can't look at it as, why is this happening to me? Why am I being cursed? And know that I have been chosen to overcome this. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I want to overcome it. And so one way I gauge my progress is, I have been clumsy my whole life. So I could trip for a whole block and not fall. I just keep running. And now I could fall, you know. So once I get back to the point where I trip like my normal self and I come between an inch of concrete and recover like a gymnast, then I know I'm Spider-Woman again. So that is what I'm looking forward to. I know that I need to do things that make me happy. Stress is a really big trigger for MS, as it is with any disability, any condition, anything you're going through. Stress just doesn't help. So I'm going to make more videos. I'm going to keep you guys up to date. I'm going to make videos about food, about clothes, about whatever I feel like talking about. So you're going to see more of my face. Thank you guys for looking at my video and listening. Feel free to share with anyone you feel like might want to hear this, or, you know, kind of, you might have family members who've been diagnosed with MS, or, you know, somebody's going through a struggle. So share it. I don't mind talking about it. It's difficult to talk about. I don't know when I'm going to be emotional, but I'm in a good place. So thank you guys again for listening.